Hey there, going to do a shave for you. We have, as I was setting up my station here, I don't have the luxury of having a den that can be used all the time. Sterling Spice, it's the write-up says it's their attempt on the Old Spice. Right now I'm not seeing as much correlation to it. It's a great scent, but I was just smelling Old Spice a week ago, and there's enough of a difference where I don't see it being a good enough match to call it that, but I really like it. But that is also with just the first try. You know how smells change as you use them in your, I think in your perception, in your nose. As I was setting things up, I also set my Boar Brush. It is definitely not broken in. It's been used maybe 10 times. I have it setting, soaking in water, as you should. I have my soap blooming. And the razor of the day is the Parker98R. It is loaded with a blade. Careful the way I hold it right there, right next to the blade. I wish that this checking right here was not just one spiral, but two. That would make it true checking, you know. Because it would be so much easier to hold. But it is pretty and different. I've got a lot of other checked handles that they hold really well. I mean, so I guess it's nice to have something that looks a little different. I love the look of this. It's also so heavy. I enjoy that. And I like the feel as well. The head. It is loaded with a feather blade that has seen 5 shavings, 5 uses. So interested to see how long this guy's going to go. With the more costly blades, hey, I mean, if you can take a feather to 10 shaves and have it be workable, that almost makes it about the same or better than some of the normal sharp blades that have that you can only go 3 or 4 shaves with. We'll see. All right, got my alum block on standby just in case. It's my little they ought to make alum blocks come in little ambulance, you know, packaging. Yeah, since they're for the fixing your cuts. All right, so with this Boar Brush not being broken in, I think I'm basically going to kind of face lather each time, you know, get up some lather and then do that instead of making a whole bowl like I have in the past, because I'm just not quite sure that my skill with the brush at this stage is going to be effective. So I am going to pause you so that I can put the bloom water on my face and then rinse it off. All right, the face is now ready. I'm going to shake off, since this is pretty wet, shake off a lot of the water from the Boar Brush. Now I've heard that you have to be, this Stirling soap, I'm enjoying the performance of it. I've used it twice now. One, the Sharp Dressed Man, and then the other, this very one, the Spice. And I'm really enjoying the performance as well as this scents. I've saw a warning online about the Boar brushes, especially if they're not broken in yet, and you start loading them on a soap that is very soft, then it will use up a lot of soap quickly. more than you might want. I have no idea how soft this boar brush is going to get. This was a highly rated one, so I love how their cost is pretty low. All right, let's just try the face lather with that. I probably, since it was just, if I'm going to face lather per pass, then maybe I didn't even need to do that much. We'll see how it goes. Tap water. I've discovered Stirling works well with tap water, so that's what's on the menu today. So I can go ahead and just jump right in because my face has already been wet. I haven't face lathered in a long time, but I do need to, break in this brush. My face lather skills probably need a little bit of improvement, just like my bowl lathering skills went through an evolution. I'm going to turn my tap on drops, so I can just add a few drops at a time to this guy and watch that lather jump up at me. For being so stiff, it's terrific how it doesn't feel like I'm scratching myself with stiff brushes, but I guess that proves that why the boar was kind of chosen as a popular brush material, because it has good backbone, it has good the longer strands, the length of it is strong, but then the tips become soft. I'm sleepy. They ought to make fragrances. Like they do some herbal teas that soothe you to sleep, They ought to make fragrances in the shaving creams that are basically sleep aids, so that for people who night shave, it gets super calming on the skin. Well, you know what? I bet lavender has that effect on people. So if you're a lavender lover, then you might be out of the game there if you're a night shaver. But something that jumps to mind is the Cubby Wubby Womb Room Tea. That's from the movie So I Married an Axe Murderer. I'm dating myself as if my gray hairs didn't do it for you. It's one of our favorite movies that has a lot of memories with it. Okay, well that is nice and thick. That is a thick lather. Very protective. The whole time I was having water come out of the brush and dot my shirt here, so obviously there's plenty of water in the brush, or at least several drops that have not integrated into the soap yet, but I guess that's what face latherers have to deal with, unless you just want to keep going on your face for a long time. Very nice. Yeah, still a very nice scent. Happy with that. All right, let's start. Parker98R with a feather. It is on its 6th time with the grain pass here. I'm going to show you the trail that my hair follows. That's kind of what it does And right here is where everything ends up. If you're up here, then the hair goes this way. It takes a front turn and then pivots back this way. On this side, it's very simple. It comes straight down and then starts to turn in the same direction as all the other stuff. Right now, as I'm learning blade angles, that's with the exception of around my goatee here, that's why I'm doing the short strokes, because I can adjust my blade angle as I'm going, and then I'm not making a huge big mistake by one long one at the wrong angle. Not very much slickness left on the face. I'm guessing that the face lathering, if I could have maybe added more water or something like that, it would have been better. That technique needs improving, but I really do enjoy bowl lathering. Do a little of that. Not touching it with the blade, just using the safety bar to clean up the ears a little bit. Okay, I'm going to rinse and get ready for second pass. Now, one thing that's interesting with the Boar, and this is the Semogue 830. I'm sure I said that already, but just in case. Sometimes I tell the wrong models, and so if I repeat them a few times during the episode, then there's a chance one of them will be right, and you'll be able to know the right one. I imagine surely I have enough soap in here for this pass. Oh, there's a red dot up there. I wonder if that's a cut. Oh, that's right. This was the 6th use feather. I didn't even think about that. It just shows you how good they are. Didn't feel, I mean, there was no tugging. I think I'm going to want a little bit more lather. So I am going to, I'm going to load a little bit more here. Again, I need improvement on this, so surely just a few seconds, right? It's going to be all I need. Got to break this guy in. Love the hexagonal handle on this brush. I think I look better in a goatee, and so I've had it for years, and sure is nice not to have to, shave around the chin and mustache area. It makes for faster shaves. Nice side effect there. There we go. Yeah, got it back. A little bit thicker. Matter of fact, this probably is a better lather than the first one. More water to it, I don't want to irritate my skin. I do feel a little irritation down here that maybe if I was using one of my softer badger brushes that I wouldn't feel. Here's an interesting thing about the Boar that I've noticed is that typically I use a bowl like this one, and with a badger brush it's got a great amount of splay to it, and I can just kind of press it down in the center of the bowl and twist it a little bit, and then it will splay just enough to hold itself up, and then that keeps the handle dry. But with the boar, it doesn't do that yet. I don't know if it'll ever do that. Maybe it will. But then, so I have to set it upside down so the handle gets wetter. Maybe that's, you know, there are those bowls that have the little rest right next to them for the brush. Maybe that's why they're there. That looks good. Still smell it. I can smell it on me while I'm working. Nice. Anything else? No, let's go. 6th use blade. I'm going to do across the grain. Man, blade is cutting like a champ. Okay, so cross the grain down here. Gonna be like that. Across the grain down here, I want to do a top to bottom diagonal. This Adam's apple area will sometimes get a little razor burn, probably something that a lot of guys deal with. Now, I've had some razor burn right here that I've been trying to calm down over a few days, and I think maybe I'm just going to do instead of the kind of a scratch pass like that where you hit it multiple times, I'll just do a one pass at a time. If I did multiple passes, it was just muscle memory and habit. That blade is not pulling yet. I can tell it's not as sharp as the original. Nope, no bleeders. But it's still not pulling. This razor, like so many others that I have, you do have to watch out with the blade alignment. Just watch it as you tighten it, review it, spin it around, look at it in the light, make sure the blades are parallel with the safety bar and all that stuff, and realign if necessary. Most blades you have to do that with. I'm sorry, most of my razors you have to do that with. All right. I'm feeling just a tiny bit of irritation down here, maybe because it is a 6th use blade, and I think that one of the reasons I like this razor is because it's not as mild as some of the ones that I have, and so that may be why I'm getting a little irritation, tiny bit of irritation down there. Do a little rinsing here. Be right back. So I was just reviewing the shave after the 2nd pass. And the 6th use feather, and this is the feather platinum. The 6th use feather is on par with the 2nd use, and sometimes even 1st use of a whole lot of the other kind of average razor blades. So that's pretty impressive. I did not rinse everything away, trying to preserve a little bit of the slickness. And so, 3rd and probably final pass. Let's see. Why don't we go ahead and load up a little bit more? Just a little bit more soap for that pass. Just a few seconds there. Let's see if that'll do it, since I had to do it last time. Don't know that my face likes all this grinding with the brush, but at least it's breaking in the, helping to break in the brush. I believe somebody said maybe 20 times is 20 uses is about when these guys start, these boar hair brushes, boar bristle brushes start breaking in. I've been doing practice lathers. One way to go is to, I'll shave with my badger, but then I'll do practice lathers with my boar. Hand lathers with a cheap glycerin soap that I have from the Pears soap, translucent glycerin soap from the Dollar Tree. Since it's $1, because I don't want to waste a premium soap on a practice lather, you know, I don't have to. Pretty nice. Here we go. I do love my bowl though. I like to watch that lather come together. You know what? Let's do a little experiment here. I'm going to put a few more drops of water in my brush. Let's see if it transforms the lather. Gives it more volume or what. Because this is the third pass, we don't really need a thick lather anyway. So if I end up milking up the lather to where it can't get big, then it should be okay. Do one more little drip. One more little addition of drips. See what we get, if any change. I think it does look a little bit different. I start on this side, and so this side always has the nice luxurious looking lather, and the other side doesn't. Okay, let's do some painting to spread this goodness out. Third pass against cross grain pass, but from the other direction typically. I was also reading today about using the slide method to get those tough hairs. As far as I know, what I can tell is that it's a method that was in the Gillette manuals and stuff decades ago, and they really recommended it for just daily use, you know, just normal use. And apparently, you know, don't quote me on this, do your research, look it up, but it seems like it's sure when you're doing your, you know, your lines here, you keep it straight. But then once you're done with that, then you keep it tilted. Instead of going down like that, you turn your razor a little bit and go down like that, not down like that, like a diagonal, but you keep, you know, this is always at a slant, which is what those slant razors, I'm sure, are trying to help you do. So, just do a little trimming right there near the sideburn. Then we'll try to make the rest of them slants. Or slides, as the old Gillette manual would say. So I wanted to come diagonally up this way, which will be a cross grain, just the other direction. So let me try to get my angle right as well as my approach. I think I got that pretty well. Try that again. The idea is that you don't, I mean, it makes total sense. You don't, when you have a knife, you don't cut something by, if you got a tomato or a block of cheese, you typically don't put the knife on there and just press it through. Usually you put the guillotine slicing motion. Well, cheese is a bad example. but you tilt the blade so that you get a better cutting action. Let's keep trying that. Let's see, coming across here. Yeah. Let me go back the other way. My instinct just says to keep the handle in line with the direction of travel, but the slant method is make it slightly askew. There we go. Gotta be careful. You definitely cut yourself that way if you make it too much of an angle. Might be the reason they stop pushing it so much. Okay. It may not be too efficient to do that, to use the slant style with my goatee in place, because those are always angles that are predetermined. Okay. I'm just gonna, and then, oh, I can feel the razor burn already. Don't know whether it's the maybe the aggression of the razor or the sixth use of the feather. We'll see. Who knows? At the end of the shave, it may not even be a thing. I'm going to rinse so then I can check out the success with the slant approach for the problem area. Shaving results pretty good, but not great. It did not completely shear these problem areas. Maybe I should have done a little bit more skin stretching, had better results with that. But I'm feeling the sting when I was rinsing with the water. I'm feeling the sting on a good area of my neck here. So I think 6 is about as many times as you want to go if you have slightly sensitive skin with a feather. Obviously there are guys out there who can shave aggressively with aggressive razors and without too much worry about the razor burn. So maybe those, I wonder if those are the guys who are getting 20 uses out of some of the blades. I don't know, just thinking. So I think this will be the last run with this feather. So 6 times is nice. And we'll see what, traditionally I have used Nivea aftershave balm to calm down the razor burn. This week I've been trying witch hazel, and I'm going to use that and just see. For minor stuff, it's been great. This is a little bit heavier irritation feeling. I don't see any cuts, so that's good. But a little bit of just a general irritation feeling in the bottom area down here. So we'll see if the witch hazel works well with that. And already rinsed, so sum up. Semogue Boar Brush, just breaking it in. This is like the 11th time I used it or something like that maybe. Stirling Spice Soap. Sometimes I smell there are certain parts of it that kind of help to identify it as the Old Spice type fragrance. Sometimes I smell them, sometimes I don't. Stirling Spice. Parker98R. And that's it. We're in good shape. I am going to apply the witch hazel, and I'll write just a quick report back after that is done with how that felt. So I applied the witch hazel. I have a spray bottle that I bought, and I put the witch hazel in. And I take off my glasses and That way I less contact with my face with my hands. If it's got potential razor burn, that helps me. I do have one tiny little bleeder right here, but yeah, the irritation I was feeling in general, it's gone almost totally. So that's good. We'll see how it does against the bumps. And I did get a little bit of razor burn up on my cheeks. I felt it when I was rinsing, and almost never happens. And so it occurred to me that it might be the complexity of maintaining two blade angles at the same time. Number one, you're trying to get the right angle this way, and then you're trying to get the right angle this way to do the slant, to do the slide. So here's perpendicular, so you're trying to get this angle right, and then you tilt it slightly, either direction, whatever's applicable, while also keeping this angle right. So it may be that I fudged up one of those angles in the whole process. So who knows? So be careful about that. Who knows? Maybe that's why you need to get a little bit more time with your razor before you try the slide. That might be good advice. So witch hazel has really helped my face to feel better as an astringent, and I don't think I'm going to do the balm. We'll see how it helps me out. So there you go. Hope there's an element here that was helpful for you. Take care.